Police arrest 4 suspects after an audacious cash and transit heist in Boksburg.
We'll have to hunt them. It doesn't matter where we find them. If we need to find them alive, we should do much better. If we need to find them dead, it will have to happen.
A warning to police killers after a police station commander in Soweto is shot and killed in front of his daughter. This is eNews at 8. I'm Sally Burdett. A good evening. To our top story. Motorists in Boksburg witnessed a brazen cash and transit heist this morning. 2 security vehicles were stopped by attackers armed with automatic rifles. Explosives were used to blow up the vans and steal the cash. The Boksburg heist is just one of many, with a massive increase in this type of crime. The number of cash heists has more than doubled in the last 3 years. Experts are warning the spike could be due to the involvement of police and army officers. Nicholas Bauer reports.
Another day, another cash in transit robbery. 2 vehicles were bombed in Boksburg on Thursday morning.
This poses the question, is the SAPS capable of dealing with the scourge? Statistics give us some indication. In 2014, there were 180 cash in transit incidents. In 2017, there were 370, marking a staggering 105% increase in just 3 years.
The SAPS concedes the incidents are rising, but argue the number of arrests are too.
You know, when you look at our roads are easily accessible. Because most of the time, if you look at our CITs, they are happening next to the freeways. However, we managed to arrest a lot of suspects.
Former Hawks commander Johan Boysen now works for a security company that transports financial assets. He says collusion between security forces and criminals is exacerbating an already desperate situation.
Unfortunate reality is that in a vast number of these cases, police officers are involved.
The police ministry says no effort will be spared to bring cash and transit heists under control. But anti-crime activists believe they can't do it alone.
There is no quick fix solution. We need all role players to come together. We need government on board, we need the police, we need the security companies, we need civil society, and we need ordinary South Africans.
4 suspects have been arrested at George Gach Hostel in Jeppe. Following a car chase, a rifle and vehicle were recovered. Nicholas Bauer, Johannesburg.
To Soweto now, and Police Minister Jeppe has visited the family of the Meadowlands police station commander who was murdered on Wednesday evening. Brigadier Malefetsane Mofokeng was shot in front of his daughter. Michael Apple reports that the police minister is vowing to hunt his killers down.
It's around 6:30 on Wednesday evening when Brigadier Malefetsane Mofokeng arrives home with his 14-year-old daughter in the car. He's closing the gate when he's approached by 2 suspects demanding his service pistol.
He responded that he's not carrying his service firearm. And from there, without any words, they started shooting at him. The child was with him, his 14-year-old baby. I've already established a team of dedicated detectives that are investigating this case.
Police Minister Jeppe, who flew back from Cape Town, especially after hearing the news of the station commander's murder, says he's confident that the culprits are going to be caught quite soon.
Nobody should kill the police officer and go and sleep home peacefully. We'll have to hunt them. It doesn't matter where we find them. If we need to find them alive, we should do much better. If we need to find them dead, it will have to happen.
Isaac Mofokeng, the brother of the slain police officer, makes this appeal to the community.
Please, we ask you to help us identify the perpetrators, the criminals of this killing of my brother.
He gave 37 years of his life to the South African Police Service and was planning to retire next year. The motive for his murder is at the moment still unknown. So as it stands, he was gunned down for his cell phone. Michael Apple, Protea South in Soweto.
To KwaZulu-Natal and another brazen crime. IFP leader Mangosuthu Buthelezi says party councillor Sibuyiselo Dlamini was murdered for fighting corruption in the Zululand district municipality. Buthelezi paid tribute to Dlamini, who was buried today in Ulundi in northern KwaZulu-Natal. Dlamini was gunned down last week. Siphamandla Goge attended the funeral.
Mourners came in their numbers to pay tribute to a fallen comrade. The late councillor Sibuyiselo Dlamini has been remembered as a hard-working, honest and loyal servant. Described as one of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi's golden boys, Dlamini was killed in a hail of bullets.
On the morning of the 10th May, the day before his death, he sent a text message to a friend in Durban who is here, again naming the same person behind his imminent assassination. I saw the message with my own eyes.
Buthelezi says Dlamini was a stumbling block to those who wanted to loot the Zululand district municipality. Political leaders in KwaZulu-Natal say the ongoing killing of politicians may cause fear ahead of next year's general election.
We will be soon getting into a political phase towards the elections next year. When we start to see political leaders being assassinated like this, it will make the situation not conducive for our people to freely express themselves and freely move around during a hard campaign that will be waging towards the elections next year.
Other provincial leaders say they, too, fear for their lives. Police are investigating Dlamini's murder. Siphamandla Goge, Ulundi, KwaZulu-Natal.
To the Eastern Cape, and the town of eNgobo is on lockdown for a second day running. Residents are angry over a lack of basic services. They want the mayor and the council out. eNgobo, you may remember, was the scene of a brutal attack on the local police station in which 5 officers were killed earlier this year. Well, the Premier visited today and has promised to come up with a turnaround plan for eNgobo in a week. Sandy McCowan has the latest from a troubled town.
Eastern Cape Premier Phumulo Moswale arrives to a hostile reception. Residents berate him for bringing along the Cooperative Governance MEC, whom they accuse of ignoring their pleas for help. The Premier's decision to hold a private meeting with leaders adds even more fuel to the fire. Residents go on the rampage, attempting to loot a grocery shop. Under threat of attack, schools, shops and all businesses close for a second day, with many worried about the revenue they're losing.
It will have a tremendous effect on my salary because, for instance, in a day's work, I'm getting like plus minus 20 rand per hour. So you see now, if it doesn't go that way, which means it's like no work, no pay.
After a 3-hour meeting, the Premier says he'll be back in a week with a plan to ensure services get delivered in this town.
Kangangokuphangalala kwazo ezi zinto kukho into esingenawukwazi uba siyiphikise. Imfuneko yoba kubekho ungenelelo. Kuba xa izinto zingasebenzi ngendlela zingenziwa ngendlela kufuneka kubekho ungenelela ukwenzela uba izinto zime ngendlela yazo.
For now, residents continue to grapple with a lack of street lights, public toilets and refuse removal. Sandy McCowan, Ngobo.
More news after the break, and Tshwane Mayor Zima has announced that his Chief of Staff, Marietta Oukamp, has resigned this evening. Moving to Tshwane now, and news just in is that the City Chief of Staff has resigned. This was announced by the Office of the Mayor, Zima, who said given the information at hand, he had no choice but to ask her to resign. That news just in this evening. Marietta Oukamp was hired with only a matric qualification. Today the ANC in Tshwane called for the DA Mayor himself to be axed over the scandal. Leranzo Temba has more.
So what the DA has put in here is Saudi. We have a Saudi here in Tshwane put by the DA administration.
Tensions are high in the capital as the Chief of Staff job debacle gains momentum. But Solly Msimanga says he'll fall on his sword if he's found guilty of any wrongdoing. The ANC says it has proof that he should be axed.
In terms of the regulations, the mayor was not supposed to be part of the panel for the direct report of the city manager.
The party says Marietta Okam's lie about having a BTech qualification should be dealt with further.
When we leave here, we're opening a case of fraud. Firing her is not enough. But every little cent that she got from the city of Tshwane as a result of this particular position, she must pay it back.
The city of Tshwane maintains that a probe is the only way to reveal any irregularities. Spokesperson Selby Wugaba disputes the ANC's allegations the mayor shouldn't have been part of the interviewing process.
Well, there's nothing that precludes the mayor from participating in the interview. There's nothing in law.
But the opposition is insistent Msimanga has something to hide. But Msimanga says he was in the dark as he was handed Okam's summarized CV during the panel interview. Leranzo Temba, Pretoria.
South African Airways is sinking deeper into trouble. Treasury has released SAA's fourth quarter financial results. It shows the company lost 1.8 billion rand in 3 months, and they're selling less and less tickets. International sales declined by 11%, domestic revenue by 21% in that same period. Now, the ongoing financial troubles of SAA has many people asking if we need a national carrier at all, if they cannot compete against other airlines. One expert says SAA needs to be ditched sooner rather than later.
Government should simply give SAA away. It will be a cheaper option. Since 2015, South African taxpayers through government have invested heavily in SAA, and it's still making losses, and there's no hope of it becoming profitable again. The big question now is, why would government want SAA? In my view, it's now become a vanity project for the South African government.
A memorial was held for iconic photographer Sam Zima today. The 83-year-old died in Nelspruit last weekend. Slindele Masekane was at the service in Johannesburg.
A final salute to a giant in the journalism fraternity. Sam Zima will always be remembered for his iconic photograph of a wounded Hector Peterson in the arms of Mbuyisa Makubu during the 1976 student uprisings.
Every journalist of the day, we were forced to become political activists. By the nature of our country then, we all lived to write about exposing, the apartheid system.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has declared a special provincial official funeral for the respected photographer. The South African flag will be flown at half-mast at every flag station in Mpumalanga on the 26th of May, the day of the funeral. Slindele Masekane, Johannesburg.
Here's a recap of your top stories. Police arrest 4 suspects after an audacious cash and transit heist in Boksburg.
We'll have to hunt them. It doesn't matter where we find them. If we need to find them alive, which is much better. If we need to find them dead, it will have to happen.
A warning to police killers after a police station commander in Soweto is shot and killed in front of his daughter.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather Center. Throughout Thursday, we stayed with cloud-free skies across much of South Africa, but further east, we still had this low-pressure system pushing in rain-bearing clouds into parts of KwaZulu-Natal and to Mpumalanga, maintaining isolated rain showers over these parts of South Africa. Now, on Friday, we start off the day with some fog patches over the northeastern areas and rain clouds still creeping into the southeastern areas, where light rain and drizzle can be expected for parts of KwaZulu-Natal, spilling into southern Mpumalanga later later on. It's going to be mostly fine for the rest of the country, with some storms creeping from Namibia towards the northwestern areas of the Northern Cape. Then later on in the afternoon, we will see some high-level cloud creeping into the southwestern parts of South Africa. Now, we are going to see mostly sunny skies on Friday over the eastern areas of the Northern Cape. Partly cloudy for Uppington, warming to around 28 degrees. It will be partly cloudy for the western sections, with thundershowers late in the afternoon around Alexander Bay. Partly cloudy weather is forecast for much of the Western Cape, where lots of high-level cloud can be expected. Cape Town and Worcester warming to 29 degrees on Friday afternoon. It will be mostly sunny and mild to warm across much of the Eastern Cape. Port Elizabeth warming to 24 degrees. Light rain is forecast for much of KwaZulu-Natal, where mild afternoon temperatures are forecast for much of the interior. We are going to see a bit of rain around Mkondo. Otherwise, it will be partly cloudy, dry and mild to cool for much of the Mpumalanga Highveld. Partly cloudy skies are also forecast across Limpopo, Polokwane, warming to around 23 degrees. We are expecting mostly sunny skies across much of the northwest, where it's going to be warm for your Friday. The Free State is going to be pretty chilly in the morning, becoming mostly sunny and mildly warm over the western sections in the afternoon. Partly cloudy skies are forecast for Gauteng, where top temperatures in the lower 20s are expected for your Friday. Now, looking ahead to your Saturday, we are going to see thundershowers popping up over the western areas. It's going to be partly cloudy with light rain for Mbombela and Richards Bay. Then on Sunday, very unsettled weather sets in over western South Africa.
And finally, preparations are underway in the small town of Windsor ahead of the royal wedding of Prince Harry to Meghan Markle on Saturday. More than 250 members of the armed forces will accompany the carriage. Officials are practicing for the big day already. After tying the knot at Windsor Castle, the couple will take a carriage ride to greet the expected thousands of adoring fans lining the streets. The procession is due to start at 1 p.m. Members of both families will gather on the steps of St. George's Chapel to wave the newlyweds off. The big news of today is that Markle's father will not be attending the wedding due to ill health. And of course, the big question is who will walk Markle down the aisle.
I would think she feels upset. I think it's kind of every girl's dream, isn't it, to have their father walk them down the aisle if they're alive and available.
I'm very sorry for her, but it can't be helped, you know. Something like a heart problem, you've got to deal with it, don't you? I mean, he certainly couldn't travel all that way with it. I hope her mum walks down the aisle. I walked my daughter down the aisle.
Let's recap your top stories this evening. Police arrest 4 suspects after an audacious cash-in-transit heist in Johannesburg.
We'll have to hunt them. It doesn't matter where we find them. If we need to find them alive, which is much better. If we need to find them dead, it will have to happen.
A warning to police killers after a police station commander in Soweto shot and killed in front of his daughter. And that's your news at 8. Take care. Good night.